Hello everyone, it is Leon here, and I have got
James
from CVG.
Hello.
Who, well, we've been playing God of War. We played all the games basically, and this is the new single-player demo, which is on. Is it just the USPN today, or is?
No, it should be on. It's Wednesday today, so it should be on the EU store today. US late last night.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, so Ascension is picking up. Well, I say picking up. It's a prequel at the set before any of the God of Wars, and deals with Kratos when he's still human and he's just betrayed Ares' bond, his oath to sort of for all the power he took, and he's being punished by the Furies. We'll meet one in a minute. That's Megara, I believe her name is. But they basically punish people who break their word,
and it's slightly confusing, the setting for this, right, Leon, because it's set before God of War 1.
Yes.
But God of War 1 does jump back to around this time period when you go and see your wife and
yeah,
like
I mean the series has always been sort of played a little loose and fast with its canon and with its setting. So yeah, so the placing of this story, if you like, is it's 6 months after Kratos has accidentally killed his wife and child in a kind of a Ares fueled blood rage.
That's the bit from God of War 1 when it's all
yeah.
red and it's like he's stumbling through the village.
Yes. Yeah, and this is him, so he's understandably a bit annoyed, and he's broken his bond with Ares, his promise that he made for the power he needed to defeat the barbarian king, and because he's broken his word, the Furies kind of guard honour, if you like, and so they only punish people who break their word and break promises. So they've taken him away to basically smack him about a bit every day, and in the process of doing so he gets free. There's an interesting throwback here, I think, to his kind of origins, where in an interview David Jaffe said that one of their original designs for Kratos was that he was a slave, and the chains hanging off his arms originally were part of the chains that bound him as a slave. And it was just a cosmetic flourish. They just flapped around a bit as he fought. They were never originally meant to be weapons, but they became the blades of Athena, the blades of Chaos, and I think they kind of, maybe unintentionally, but it's sort of harking back to that in him starting all tied up at the beginning of this.
Because we're assuming this is probably from near the start of the game, right?
Yeah, I think it's got to be. I mean, I can't see how. Story-wise, it's he's being punished and he has to escape to try and put things right again. And also, this is all tutorial kind of structure, isn't it? I mean, little kill pits to get used to God of War's relatively unique kind of combat system. It hasn't changed at all. No, I mean, like
changed at all. How long has it been?
Well, good talk,
10 years, maybe
10, 12 years. Yeah, I mean, DMC's changed a bit. You got Rising is trying out sort of new ideas, but this is still, you got your evade on the right stick, which always throws me the first sort of hour or so I play it, because I keep wanting to look around with the camera. And then light and heavy moves on triangle and square, and sort of modifiers really on the shoulder buttons. Yeah,
it's where your grabs and your like pulls are, and interact buttons are L1 and R1.
We'll see in a little while, because they have changed. In fact, we'll see in here. You've got a new sort of melee attack. You can kind of punch and kick people. And you can grab them really with the chains now and sort of swing them around and throw them.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Yeah. And you can, from playing it earlier, I've already played this through once, so hopefully I won't be too awful at it while you're watching this. But it's good that you can like chain someone up with one hand and then still attack other guys with the other hand. That's a nice new feature.
It's good, yeah, because you're walking them around like a sort of an angry dog for a while, but then you can, if you want, fling them and hit someone. Yeah.
Wondering. But yeah, there's no one else around at the moment.
So yeah, there we go. Throw him. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'm guessing this demo has been set up to be a little gentler than maybe the full game, because I clocked up like a 50-odd combo earlier without even trying. I didn't even realise. I just looked over and I was like, oh, I've done quite a lot of damage. But this is basically just a kill pit, I think, just to get everyone used to, back into literally into the swing of things. Not 100% sold on these sort of insect bugmen, although I do like the idea that it is trying to do slightly different things with the monsters. They're moved away from the satyrs and well, Cyclops is still here, but
yeah, you get to see him a bit later on.
See elephant men wandering around and those well, we'll see a big monster in a minute. There's I forgot the name of the big flying thing.
I don't know what that's called, but it's huge. Like, it's coming up a bit later. It's basically what they have done in the other games when you sort of, you know, the sense of scale. Like this, this we'll see in a minute. Like this whole level is set on basically a boss.
Yeah. So yeah, I've written this down so I can say it. Hecatoncheires.
Yes.
Which is actually a kind of Greek monster, and this one is I think called Aegion, who, like Kratos, broke his word for something, so the Furies punished him by turning him into a prison,
into a level.
Yeah, which is a classic kind of God of War tradition. You've had Kronos and a lot of the Titan fights in God of War 3. You know, levels built on living things, and as we'll see a little while later, you know, these living things move, and you have huge chunks of the level being sort of rotated and moved around in a way that still kind of boggles the mind a bit, I think.
As you were saying earlier, it's still very, like, it follows the God of War formula, like kill a man, jump up, go into another area, kill a whole lot more enemies, do a massive sort of epic set piece thing, and honestly, I'm not bored of that from God of War. I
think what it does really well, and especially like here, is it gives you a lot of different things very quickly in succession. So like you say, you kill a man, you have a big boss fight, there's a lovely sort of camera pans out to show a huge area, and almost every 5 minutes something different happens. And as the game, I suspect from previous games, as it sort of progresses, it'll lengthen a bit, so you'll have longer sections between set pieces and changes, but it's already sort of set you up and kind of let you know that it's going to be changing, it's going to be flipping around a bit. Here's one of the, we've got some new weapons. Like, you unlock other weapons as you did previously, but you can pick up almost like disposable weapons.
Yeah.
Which I've sort of played around with the idea a bit before, but they have, you can use them to attack, sort of small attack, or you can use them as like a big special attack. Like that.
You use a lot of the, I think that feature is used quite heavily in the multiplayer from playing the beta.
Yes.
There's a lot of weapon pickups, throwing things around in that.
I think, there's one where you're fighting for, like an arena for Hercules, I think, and he will occasionally throw weapons down, and suddenly it's a scrabble for everyone to get the weapon that will help them win. So yeah, that was a 40 combo thing in one go. So you can see, Hecatoncheires' head over there.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing is what, the foyer for the prison, maybe?
Yeah,
canteen,
where you drop off all the new prisoners.
Yeah. But yeah, as we'll see later, this isn't just like a rigid, fixed area. These arms will start moving around, and using the same skin technology they had in 3, where basically they can make the surfaces solid rather than having to tell the game that this is a solid surface. This isn't.
I particularly enjoy that bit.
That's horrible.
And the bugs come out of her lady bits.
It's bad enough that she's got kind of these weird pockmarked bosoms anyway, but then they produce insects. It's not dating material. I love how they kind of interpreted the myth here, because the whole idea of what the Hecatoncheires are is that they are these strong, agile, many-limbed creatures.
I see.
Which is why you can see all these different arms here, and obviously what they're doing, rather than making you fight a creature with loads of arms, they sort of bring arms together, arms to life one at a time.
See, yeah, as you said before, this is all still very much sort of tutorial-y, like here's how you dodge, and you're fighting like a massive boss whilst you were still learning about controls.
Remember, I'm going to get this wrong now, remember there's a Penny Arcade joke with God of War ages ago when they were talking about the opening level, I think of 2, where you fight the big giant robot man, the big brass guy, and you do all this stuff, and the guy's going, I didn't realise you got so close to the end. He's going, no, this is the first level. And you're going, is this a joke? and he goes like, no. Every other game is a joke. God of War is the punchline. Yeah, so we see like this is one of the levels sort of being not the level, part of the level being thrown around, and you can still see areas you're going to go to in a minute, areas you're going to explore.
Yeah, something they did a lot with God of War 3 had like huge areas that you could see from a long way off, and a giant boss, and you're fighting above sort of where you're playing at the moment, but you can see, like Leon says, you'll be able to go around this level in a minute and explore it a bit more.
Yeah, they had that level in 3, wasn't it? You're fighting one of the Titans on his arm, and he kept sort of lifting his arm up to look at it. I spoke to the lead programmer of 3 and God of War 3, and they'd made some kind of technology where normally in a game you build all the levels and you build all this stuff, but it's intangible, and you have to go in afterwards and go, well, this is the floor, this is the ceiling, this is a tree, and tell the game what can and can't be sort of walked on or interacted with. And they had some kind of tech where everything has a surface that reacts like a surface, which is how they can do all this.
Yeah.
And it's incredible as well. I mean, it's a massive piece of the level being thrown around, like big chunks of it coming off, and the frame rate's...
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It holds up really well, actually.
And that, just then you saw, it was like, what, 30, 40 chunks of stuff flying off.
Yeah.
It's got the whole of the level behind it, it's tilting it all around. It's incredible. This is essentially old technology now. I mean, if PS4's out next year...
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that this is the kind of game that will really benefit from like a next-gen overhaul. I mean, if they can already do all of this stuff, it's only going to look better. I mean, the sense of scale they've got is already good enough to be next-gen. It's just going to look even better than this.
I've seen a lot of people saying that the graphical leap to next-gen isn't going to be as impressive as it has in the past, because there's simply less kind of roof space to move up into. And if you play games like Crysis 3 and this, and it is hard to see sort of how much better they can make this. And even for this, for an opening boss fight, the amount of variety going on in here is not bad. Which always bodes well. If they sort of almost throw this stuff away right at the beginning, you're hoping it's going to continue.
If this is their opener, then.
And I think that's one thing that God of War has always done, is it doesn't kind of lure you in with a load of flashy stuff and then just sort of settle down into a rut. It stays like this all the way through. And that's that stuff in the background. You're about to go down there. It's not like smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. See, and this is seems to be in this game that they've taken all of the things that they've done in all the other games and sort of combined them all together, because a lot of the sort of falling and flying bits were in 3. Obviously they know how to do that now, so you're having to do more of that.
There is a lovely kind of sort of developer progression really with the God of Wars, because it's always a new developer each time. I don't think really on purpose, but it's always a new new director.
Yeah.
But there is always this kind of legacy, this kind of family tree. So obviously it was David Jaffe for the first one. It was Corey Balrog for the second one. Stig Asmussen for 3. I think he's now studio director for Sony Santa Monica. And the interesting thing with this one is it's Todd Pappy, and he was the combat director for 3. So
he's had a little promotion on his way.
Well, he's always the next director always is one of the sort of the previous development team's kind of leads. But I think I'm curious to see how his sort of influence will affect the combat as the game progresses. Because when I spoke to him for God of War 3, he was talking loads about kind of animation frames in Street Fighter, and that's really where his sort of his origins and his interests kind of lie. And I was wondering if there was going to be any of that kind of bleeding through. We've not seen any of that yet, but
no. If you're wondering, we will see it a bit later on. I think the old upgrade system's still there when you collect all the red orbs, and then you go and upgrade your weapons as and when you get enough of them. So that's still pretty much the same.
But I wondered if his sort of love for Street Fighter and old 2D retro kind of brawlers would have any impact.
You're hoping for some kind of side-scrolling level a bit later on.
No. I think it's interesting that a man whose job was combat director and loved all those kind of other games is then put in charge of the game, whether or not that will be any kind of feed through. Because you think if that's what he loves and that's what he knows, you'd expect some of it to leak, well, not leak, but to influence proceedings. These are some of the more of the sort of the secondary weapons you can pick up. Well, they're not secondary weapons, are they? They're almost like kind of disposable weapons. I think you can... Do they drop the spears?
I don't think they do drop the spears.
I picked up a spear here earlier, yeah.
Oh, maybe they do then.
Maybe it depends how you kill them. The spear's got a special attack where it sort of rains down like a flurry of blows on people, which is quite handy.
Oh, I didn't get that, I don't think.
That's strange. Yeah, no, I found. Oh, maybe it's after you defeat them. I found like a bunch of spears stuck in the ground.
It's quite nice as well that sort of in 3 the sort of head ripping off move when you put your, gouging his eyes out in that big boss fight was such a like big moment, and in this now you just rip people's heads off whenever you want. It's just like a standard move now.
I am hoping for a more more kind of stylized approach a bit, because one of the problems I found with 3 was that I just didn't like Kratos in God of War 1 and 2, because it was still a bit cartoony, mainly because of the technology and how realistic you could make it. It wasn't too bad when he was like kicking people into wells and being nasty just for the sake of it. In 3, I did about an hour in, it's kind of like, guy's a dick.
See, this bit's really nice. This is I can stop moving. This isn't sort of what looks like it normally would be a cutscene, but actually is you just get to walk through it yourself.
And I'm a sucker for a bit of lovely depth of field as well. Now this is the this bit's incredible. Like, just in terms of getting your head around, that's actually playable environment being moved around.
And there's sort of multiple enemies in this bit. Sort of, you get sort of at least, I think there's 10, maybe 15 people on screen at one point, and you're in the middle of the sky.
Throwing a chair in the sky. See, I mean, I could get my head around like fighting a big bunch of enemies. I could get my head around the level moving around a bit. I can get my head around being able to see a large level in the background, but all of it happening at once. It's impressive when you look at some other games that are out at the moment, and they can barely manage like a run down a corridor without a bit of jaggy or frame rate kind of stutter.
And you get more and more covered in blood.
Yeah,
I am.
Which is a nice touch.
Now that jumpy bit is automated. I don't have to do anything there. But that would have been nice. Press X to jump.
They're pretty good actually with the QTEs here. I think I know it is a QTE based kind of game, but the new prompts around the side are quite nice and sort of subtle, and they don't feel as invasive as they used to be, and it doesn't feel maybe like there's as many as there used to be, but they're still there when you need them.
They're sort of more there now when you want them to be. Like, I really want to rip his head off, and then it's like, hit square. You're like, oh, good. So
it's a difficult balance to sort of hit, because you don't want to feel like you're just being forced to play a cutscene all the time. I like that you can smack people off the edge as well.
So that's another thing. Like some other games, you'd probably normally see them just bounce off the wall.
I think some of the old God of Wars did. Yeah, they go. Yeah. This is the combat area, and it'd be like you're fighting in a glass box. There we go. Greek boxes. And a little bit of calm after the storm, which is nice.
Yeah, you sort of see his hand moving in the background.
All his hands.
It really happens. And if that wasn't enough, that whole massive fight, we're just about to do another massive fight with the return of the Cyclops.
They've changed the. We'll see in a moment. They've changed the sort of Cyclops kill, which I'm sort of almost a little bit sad about. It's like a God of War tradition that you pull his eyeball out.
Yeah, I was waiting for that as well, but I quite like the new one, which we'll see in a minute. Here it is. I
feel like I must have had a meeting somewhere where they go, "Can we do the eyeball again?" And someone's going, "Not again." And like, actually, you could.
They'll save the eyeball for someone else, probably. I thought maybe.
We'll definitely see a bit of the old zipper tech, which is lets you basically slice the Cyclops open. So amazing kind of belly wobble they've got going there. That's like that's the power PlayStation. Realistic gut flubber.
Well, it's like the textures on him as well. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like all scaly and stuff. You never normally get before.
It does, like I said, I mean, it does sort of shame some games when you know the textures, you can sort of see the brush marks or the pixels on them, where this thing, you know, that looks leathery and horrible.
It wouldn't be God of War without riding him around a bit.
Yeah.
So
I still love these bits as well, because it's kind of useless. You can't really do anything except kind of aim left or right.
yeah.
And yet it's still kind of fun. I wonder if they'll, because obviously in God of War 3, you could grab onto the harpies
For flying around.
Yeah, was there anything else you could grab onto? I can't remember. Was it just these guys and the harpies?
I think it was just. I want to say it's just that, but
Yeah.
I'll probably prove us wrong in the
Yeah.
comments. There he is.
But yeah, I wonder if we get a chance to do it all. Somebody's job at Santa Monica is to do like the liver.
Yeah.
Dave, you're doing the liver today. I wonder if they make one liver and kind of scale it up, or whether they have to make specific livers.
I'd like it to be a week's long job for one guy.
Just modelling lots and lots of livers.
There's a sword over here. Did not see that last time I played it. Now I have a giant sword.
I think it's interesting as well. It still gets away with that sort of fixed camera angle. I can't think of any games that still, you know, insist on forcing a camera angle on you.
No, it's become sort of very God of War-ish, isn't it?
Well, I think it's just where most games, it almost became like a proof of technology to go like, you know, hey, we can do 3D,
Yeah.
you know, full 3D. That they sort of, it felt like they had to sort of keep up with GTAs and stuff, and God of War's just always stuck to its guns and still made an incredible amount of pretty out of it. It was a bad day to be him.
Yeah. Just as he thought he was getting out.
This thing's basically just built for hugging. that's why it's so angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
That bit is brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, for a demo, it's really long. It gives you a lot to play with, which is good. It's a nice change than having like half a game of football or one tiny level.
Yeah. And actually thinking about it, this has kind of broken the God of War tradition. I was saying earlier to you about how they normally show off one bit and that's all you ever see.
Yeah.
But this is actually the second bit, because they've got the fight with the elephant and the big man with the hammer.
First saw at E3.
Yeah.
That big.
So they've actually shown off a couple of bits. In all previous games, they show off one level, and that is your lot until the game's out, which I like, because then, you know, you are going to have a surprise. I was playing a bit of Tomb Raider and a bit of Dead Space 3 the other day, and I had to wait quite a while to get to a bit I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
See, I struggled with this bit. I could not read his moves well enough to dodge those arm swipes. I couldn't. You're doing better than me. I couldn't jump over them.
No, I took a while.
No, I basically just let him hit me all the time. And
That's the way Kratos would do it.
Yeah,
Just stand there, let him get hit, and then go, what?
just taking it all like a punching bag and then hitting him when he'd got tired. Well, that's interesting. Sure, when I fought him, I cut his other mandible off.
I think it depends on which side you throw him down on.
That's a lovely
Because
touch.
I did it, on the left-hand side last time, actually.
Yeah, that's a lovely touch.
Where am I? Oh, yeah, I'm just playing it your way now. It's fine.
Does it? I don't know whether it's just because there's shadows here, but there's a few times when I just didn't know where I was.
Well, it's because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't think it helps having that big beam on the left casting that big sort of shadow, because the camera pulls out, everything sort of goes a bit dark. Oh, I wonder if that's how you do it. Jump up and then attack to stay up. That's the end of him. No, it's not.
No, it's the old classic. You think you've done it in 2? Yeah. Well, nope. There was one extra bit.
A bit left in the bank.
Now he's dead.
That is the end of that.
It makes sense having the buttons on the side, so you instantly know where you're meant to be pressing.
And they don't. Yeah, they're not so obtrusive. They're not getting in the way. There we go.
There you go.
That is how you kill a 50-armed monster. Cool, there you go. It's God of War single player demo, which is on store now. One of these days, I will remember to look up the release date before we do this. And
March.
Is it March?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I won't put it in the comments then. But yeah, leave a comment. We'll chat to you guys later. Thanks a lot.
Bye.